How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Talking Wolves and welcome back to a brand new video. Wolves have kicked off the Premier League restart with a massive 2-0 win over West Ham United, grabbing another 3 points, guys, and what a huge victory it was today. Took a little while for us to get into it, but once we did it, we relied on two of the substitutes to make a big difference towards the 3 points today. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, guys. It's always great to hear from you. And be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel as well. And follow us all on our social medias, links in the description down below. But it's great to see Wolves back in action, although, of course, we couldn't be there. Of course, we were going to be able to watch every game on TV now and still watch the team that we all know and love. And today it was a different lineup, I could say. Same sort of system that we used against Brighton earlier on, before obviously the season took a break. So we saw Rui Patricio returning goal again. Similar back three with Romain Saïss, Connor Cody and Willy Bolly, Johnny and Matt Doherty, and then a midfield three of Dendoncker, Neves and Moutinho, and Diogo Jota and Raul Jimenez up front. And Wolves started off quite brightly, to be honest. We saw us have a lot of the ball, having quite a lot of attempts towards goal as well. And it just seemed like, for most part, though, especially of the first sort of 20 minutes, half an hour, it was just the sort of Wolves of old, really, just trying to suss out the opposition. The tempo was possibly a little bit lower than you would expect, but Wolves looked really, really strong. And then in parts of the game, it looked like we'd never been away. The way we moved the ball, the way we controlled the game, the way we sort of... The tempo of the match was really, really decent as well. But probably the chance of the first half was for West Ham. It was Fornals who went through. I think it was on Saïss's side. We just got caught a little bit too high. And Pablo Fornals went through and just lashed the shot across... over the bar in the end, so nothing for us to worry about as such. But going in at half-time at 0-0, you guys know that Wolves are second half FC. We know what we want to do. We know how we play. We use that first half just to suss out the opposition. And the second half is when we sort of, do what we need to do and kill off the games. So going into half-time, I think, especially with us not conceding a goal, that was a huge positive for us. In parts of the first half, especially second half, we saw Jimenez and Diogo Jota combining quite nicely. It's just that final ball twice. I think first time it was Jota, just trying to whip that ball into Jimenez. It was the right idea, but just a little bit too high and powerful. And then the second half, those two combining fantastically again. And again, just maybe the wrong ball from Jimenez. Again, trying to lash it across quite quickly, then possibly should have played it quite nicely in behind Declan Rice towards Jota to send him through. But the signs were definitely there. The telepathy of those two. Is that a word? Telepathic? You know what? The telepathic connection between our two strikers. It's clear to see that sort of connection is still there. Diogo was eventually brought off alongside Leander Dendoncker. We knew at least one of the forwards was going to come off when we saw both Pedro Neto and Adama Traore warming up and getting ready to come on. But I think Wolves did quite well. West Ham played quite well. I think you guys know, and it has been the case for the last season or so, when Wolves play against a team that predominantly defends and predominantly plays with men behind the ball, they make it very, very difficult for Wolves to play. But the fact that, we've got these two systems now, and the fact that we hadn't conceded, it put us in really good stead for sort of the remainder of the second half, to be honest. As I said, West Ham played okay, but didn't really threaten us too much, and we did what we needed to do, really. Other than that Fornals chance, I don't think there would be an opportunity that Wolves would be really disappointed about conceding. But the way that we sort of moved the ball at times was still very, very positive, and the fact that we were having so many attempts on goal shows that maybe slowly but surely we're getting used to playing in front of teams that like to sit back and defend against us. And I do think it was a matter of time. Once Wolves scored a goal, it might have broken West Ham, because West Ham would have to start pushing out a little bit. Wolves played extremely high, to be honest, a lot higher than they expected. And I think this is what we're going to come to see, maybe over the next two games at least, against Bournemouth and Aston Villa, where maybe those teams would get used to a home advantage. Because there's no fans, we're going to see a lot more away wins, I believe, from now until the end of the season. And Wolves have really got to take advantage of that as well. We did eventually see the subs, Pedro Neto and Adama Traore, and how inspiring they were. I've seen a couple of instances of managers this weekend possibly not use their substitutes correctly, but to have the pleasure of those two being on the bench. And you've also got Daniel Podence, who we didn't really get a chance to see today. it shows sort of, how highly touted Pedro Neto is, and this kid is very, very special. We'll talk about his goal in a minute, and big up to him for being nominated to the European Golden Boy alongside Morgan Gibbs-White this season. But the first goal came courtesy of Adama. He played a decent ball in just shortly before the goal as well. But Adama, again, he doesn't need those long plats or whatever. He'll knuckle down. He still uses his pace. It took us a while actually to see him get on the ball, but once he did, the West Ham defence just couldn't cope. The ball in was fantastic, and we know at times Raul Jimenez can be an aerial predator. When that ball comes in, and when the ball comes into Raul right on his head, there's a big chance that guy's not missing. 1-0. Great to see the Mexican King scoring again. Si, senor. 1-0 to the Wolves. And as I said, I think West Ham knew then they had to slowly but surely push out. But my goodness, how good was the second goal? Again, this time Matt Doherty whipping the ball, and it's evaded everyone. But you could just see Pedro Neto holding back and winding that right foot up. And my word, there's probably a pot of gold in the back of that net where that shot hit, to be honest, because that was an absolute beauty. Fantastic goal by Pedro Neto, and it's great to see him come in and score a goal. And I thought he looked really, really bright and really threatening. And I think that's the thing with Wolves, because we're so strong physically, we've got such quick players as well on the bench. Daniel Podence, Adama Traore, Pedro Neto, are you mad? Like, you've got players like that you're able to bring off the bench against, no disrespect to West Ham, one of the poorest teams on paper in the division right now. And I just thought defensively, although they coped quite well, at times they just were a little bit shaky. And when you're hitting those quick players against a half-fit West Ham defence, and this can go for Bournemouth or Villa and whoever we're playing next up in the league, they've got to be careful. Because when we're bringing on players of that pace, that physicality, they're going to be in trouble. But overall, a massive 3 points for Wolves. And a really, really positive start to the season. I'm extremely happy with how we've kicked off in the end. We have a quick look at the stats. We held a lot more of the ball, close to 60% possession. Shots today, 10, with 6 on target, which I think is a real positive. I think against Brighton, we just really struggled to get anything on target. And the fact today that, we were able to sort of penetrate West Ham a little bit more, get a little bit more towards goal, test Fabianski and co a little bit more. And the table looks fantastic at the moment. We've jumped up to 6th, level on points with Manchester United in 5th. Results have gone our way. Sheffield United dropped points in their first game. Of course, they've got to play tomorrow. Arsenal have lost both games that they've played. Spurs and United dropped points. So at the moment, things are going okay, guys. And next 2 games, Bournemouth and Villa, I think if we can get 2 wins out of those games, it sounds crazy. But Wolves have got a genuine opportunity of potentially getting Champions League football. It is mad. But guys, thank you so much for watching today. Goals from Raul Jimenez and Pedro Neto give Wolves the victory against West Ham United. Fantastic win. Fantastic 3 points. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. I'll be back with the preview for the West Ham game. Be sure to keep an eye on the channel. We're going to have the fans' reactions after this for the match as well. But as I say, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Love you all. And I'll see you next time.